Welcome back to the Bro Country Podcast. My name is Joey, and as always, I am joined by...
Hey man, it's Chris over here tonight. What's going on?
Man, not a whole lot. Just been cleaning up the house, rearranging my bookshelf, some really fun stuff, man. What about you?
That's right, man. Just had a lazy evening getting ready for this here tonight.
Yeah, we got a fun one planned tonight. We're going to be talking about country songs you may have forgot about.
That's right.
Now, don't come at us all crazy if you haven't forgot these. We know there are some super fans out there that know all these songs we're going to talk about tonight, but we had some fun with this series on TikTok recently, and seemed to do pretty well, and people really seemed to enjoy it. So I was like, well, let's just do an episode about it.
That's right.
But first, we'll get into our news segment for the week. There's some stuff going on. We had the CMT Awards last night. A couple singles that are about to head to radio. So first, though, Drew Parker, his debut single, While You're Gone, debuted at number 53 on the Billboard Country Airplay this week.
That's right, man. You can't go back now. Now that it's on the official charts. This is that's awesome for Drew. That's huge.
That was a pretty good spot to debut at for him, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stoked about that for him, but
yeah, we'll be following this one closely. I mean, songs sometimes drag at radio, and sometimes if you're Luke Combs, they fly up the radio chart. But we'll definitely be following the progress of this one for Drew for sure.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But then I wanted to recap some of the CMT awards real quick.
Tell us about that, man.
Got a list of them actually here, but Video of the Year, you've got Carrie Underwood and John Legend for Hallelujah. And then Female Video of the Year went to Gabby Barrett for The Good Ones.
Yep.
Great song. We've talked about that a bunch.
Yep.
Male Video of the Year, Kane Brown for Worship You.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a shock for me. You know, Carrie has won Video of the Year 9 times at the CMT Awards.
I did not know that.
9 different times she's won. So her fan base, good Lord, that's crazy, man.
Because these are all fan-voted awards. Yeah. So
that's wild, man.
Is a testament to these fan bases, how much they love these artists. So
absolutely. What else we got there?
We've got Duo and Group Video of the Year. Went to Little Big Town for Wine, Beer, Whiskey.
Yep.
And this one was pretty cool. We had Breakthrough Video of the Year. Went to Dylan Scott for Nobody.
Yeah, did you see his acceptance speech?
I didn't get a chance to watch the show, man. I was supposed to, and we were out running around, so I actually didn't get to watch it. I just watched some recaps and read a couple articles.
He said this is the first award that he's ever won. He was super emotional. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome, man. I think I saw, maybe he posted that on Instagram or something. I think I saw something about it, but I didn't actually hear him talk now, so that's awesome. Good for him. But then you've got Best Family Feature. That went to Taylor Swift for The Best Day, Taylor's version.
Yep.
Collaborative Video of the Year, Chris Young and Kane Brown for Famous Friends. Which that's not one of my favorite songs, but I will say it is very catchy.
It is super catchy, and I think it's number 3 on the radio chart this week. It's going to be a big hit for both of them.
Yeah, yep, most definitely. And then the last one here that I had was CMT Performance of the Year from the 2020 CMT Music Awards. Kelsey Ballerini and Halsey for The Other Girl.
Yep.
Kind of just a quick recap of the CMT Awards.
Yeah.
We had some crazy stuff happen on our social medias the past week, man. We went semi-viral again on TikTok.
That's right. Tell us a little bit about that.
We broke 5,000 followers. That was pretty cool. So if you guys are here from TikTok, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting the show and checking us out. We do appreciate that. Luke Bryan announced the farm tour, which is no surprise that he's doing it, but surprising in 2021 after last year that we're getting all these shows announced. I'm ready for it. So
yeah, the tickets go on sale tomorrow, and there's one farm that's kind of close to both of us. I think you already have a show that day, but
yeah,
I think I'm gonna try to snag tickets to it. So we'll see.
That's what September 22nd, I believe, or 17th,
or 17th. Yeah,
17th.
I think it's Baltimore, Ohio.
Okay,
Miller Farm. It's kind of cool. He literally just finds like people that own farms that have huge fields, and they just set up out in the middle of a field. It's pretty wild, man.
I've never got to go to one.
He's been doing this for years and years and years. Yeah, me either.
That'll be fun for you, man. I'm going to see church that night, though, so
That's and then we're going to church the next day too.
Yeah, doubling down on the Gather Again tour. So for me, anyway, but it'll be kind of a double down for you anyway. You'll get to go to 2 shows in a row.
That's right.
But I don't know the validity behind this, but I heard on social media that Wasted on You by Morgan Wallen was sent to radio. I don't know how true that is. Somebody on, I want to say it was TikTok, made a video about it and like screenshotted that Big Loud was sending it to radio. So I'm not too sure if that's 100% factual, so don't hold me to that, but I did hear that anyway.
Yeah, they might be just trying to kind of slide it to radio without getting a lot of publicity, because I'm sure that they are. I mean, there's already some stations playing Morgan again.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they eventually have to try to push another single to radio eventually. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, I'm sure that they're hoping that it's just going to catch on without much publicity.
Yeah.
So we'll see. They might not actually, like, officially announce it, you know?
They might just slide it in there because
yeah, they might just slide it in.
There were, on the little screenshot that the lady had posted on TikTok, there weren't a lot of ads. Like, it was very minimal compared to all the other songs that went to radio. But I get it. Good to see.
Absolutely.
Good to see them get another single out for Morgan though. So it's a good song too.
Absolutely.
Luke Combs announced his next single to radio, "Cold as You." Well, I don't know if he announcely announced it yet, but
well, it seems like it's
they're pushing it.
I mean, good Lord, yeah. I mean, he performed it last night. He performed it at the Opry last couple weeks ago, and I think everybody is ready for album 3. But I mean, I'm sure it's just all about timing and when they want the third album to come out, which is probably December or January, sometime in that range.
Yeah.
So maybe they think they can sneak out another number 1 before they go to album 3. It's pretty crazy. I mean,
I'll be 12 if it goes number 1, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not sure that it'll count because of the deluxe, but there has never been a country album that had 7 number 1s from it. Mm-hmm. So, the current, he's got 6 number 1s right now, and I think maybe "Kill the Lights" from Luke Bryan had 6.
Yeah.
And so if they push a 7th single and it go, and obviously it'll go number 1, so it'll be the first album in the history of country music with 7 number 1s from it.
Gosh, and 12 consecutive number 1s.
That's right, man.
Golly, that's insane. But speaking of Chris Young again, he announced his new album, "Famous Friends," that's supposed to drop this summer.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I think with the single, I mean, he's finally caught fire again, and this is a big hit for him. So it's the right time to come out with a new album for sure.
He's been working on it for a while. I mean, he hasn't put anything out since 2017, album-wise.
Yeah, he hadn't put an album out, but he's got "Drowning," and he had "Raised on Country," and "Town Ain't Big Enough" with Lauren Elena, and "If It Ain't God." So I mean, I think he's put out 5 or 6 songs that'll probably be on the project, I would think.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, is he going to include these or what? Because "Losing Sleep" was his last album, but I mean, like you said, he's been collaborating and putting out singles. So I'll be anxious to see how that album turns out. Because I'm a huge Chris Young fan. I really love his old stuff, obviously, but I've always kind of followed Chris and enjoy going to his live shows and everything. So
yeah, absolutely, I'm looking forward to new music for sure.
Absolutely, man. And then we had Cameron Marlowe, who recently dropped 2 songs that are like Spotify exclusives, "Giving You Up" and "Folsom Prison Blues."
I have not checked those out yet. I mean, these Spotify singles they're some of them have become like pretty famous. I mean, "Dive" by Luke was Spotify single, and I mean there's some others, but they almost always just come out with an original, one of their own songs, like "Giving You Up," and then they do a cover. So,
yeah.
Have you listened to them yet?
I listened to him today. It was actually, I didn't even know he released them, man. But I was listening to music earlier, and I had a notification on my Spotify. It was like 2 new singles or something by Cameron Marlowe, and I was like, oh sweet, I'll go check them out. I'm like, oh shoot, they're the Spotify exclusives. I forget what they call them. There's a word for them, but yeah. And I saw the Folsom Prison Blues cover. They were both pretty good, man. I really like him.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna have to check those out. Probably as soon as we get done here tonight, I'm gonna listen to those because I'm all about buying stock in Cameron. I think he's got a bright future for sure.
Yeah, him. Like we always talk about the next guys and gals that are gonna really like take off, and I could see him having a really good shot. And Parker, of course, I think those 2 guys have a really good chance.
Yeah, they're both young, and obviously got the look, got the sound.
Most definitely.
Yeah. I can definitely see both those having a good shot.
Absolutely, my man. What did you have anything for the charts this week?
It's exactly the same as last week. We say this every single week, but I mean the album is Morgan's "Dangerous," and the number 1 song at radio and the number 1 hot country song is "Forever After All" by Luke.
There you have it. That's like what 3 weeks in a row, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I think Luke's already had the number 1 song at radio 7 or 8 weeks just this year.
Yeah.
And then "Dangerous," I think, has been the number 1 country album for 14 or 15 weeks already.
Yeah, That's impressive, man.
It's pretty crazy.
Big numbers for those guys, but we didn't expect anything less, you know?
That's right, man.
Streaming monsters, insane fan bases but for both those guys, so good for them. But that's really all I had for news, man. Do you have anything else before we roll into this one?
I think that's about it, man.
Cool. So yeah, we're going to be talking about country songs that you may have forgot about. We've got 10 of them listed here. Again, we kind of started a series on TikTok where we were playing 4 to 6 little snippets of country songs that you may have forgot about. So we thought it'd be fun to do an episode, like I mentioned earlier, and I guess we'll just roll right into it, man. I didn't really rank these in any particular order. I just kind of listed them out.
Yeah, these will just be. We'll just kind of dive into each one of these, and I mean, I have a feeling that we might end up doing this like once a year or something, because it's fun to go back and look at these songs that maybe some people have forgotten about, and it's also just a really good chance to kind of go into some of these artists that maybe we don't talk about all the time. But I mean, these everybody we got listed here tonight are some of our favorites, and it's just cool to kind of shine the light on some of these songs that some of them are from the late 80s, early 90s. Some of them are more recent. This is going to be a fun one.
It sure is, man. And I was trying to think of a way to get these clips of these songs, to play in the episode, but I'm like, copyright, fair use. I tried to research it all week. I couldn't find out a definitive answer. So I'm like, if you guys want to hear these songs and actually did forget about them, just go look them up on Spotify or Apple Music.
Yep,
but
absolutely, man.
The first one, and Chris and I collectively came up with these, so it wasn't just like I picked 10 or he picked 10. We just collectively picked 10 together. So
yeah.
Rolling into it, though, the first one we had listed was "Moments" by Emerson Drive.
Oh, I love this song, man.
That is such a good, forgotten song, man.
It is. Goodness gracious. I think the reason that I kind of thought about this one is because the Tenille Arts song that was number one at country radio about a month ago was the first Canadian song that was at number one since this song. So I think this was 14 years ago, and this is kind of a slow, very, very, very emotional song that is. I'm not sure this would get played on radio today, to be honest with you.
No, I can't, especially in today's country vibe. I couldn't see it going on, but
yeah, I mean, maybe because it is definitely a song that everybody can relate to, and like I said, it's a super emotional song.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But yeah, that was a good one. You came up with that one, and then the next one I had here, and this was on one of our TikToks, but "Celebrity" by Brad Paisley.
Yeah, I think this might have been the one that kind of got the TikTok rolling over there.
Yeah, I think we had and again, it's not a lot compared to a lot of creators, but it was 53,000 views on that video. I was like, holy cow, I did not expect that to take off like that, but
that's wild, man.
It's fun making those videos and the nostalgia that comes with doing those types of, little clips or whatever, but
absolutely, man. What made you think of this song?
It's just a fun one, man, that I hadn't really thought about in a long time, and the music video, I'm sure you've seen it, is hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, man. Brad is really good at those. He can do it all, really, but he has a lot of those funny songs,
Oh yeah, this was him at the peak of his powers too, man. He was having a blast doing this song.
Oh yeah. So I don't know, man. I got to thinking about songs that people don't talk about anymore, and I even feel like Brad just doesn't get a lot of attention anymore.
Yeah, I think Brad is similar. I think he's going to go down in country music as very similar to Vince Gill, as in super critically acclaimed. Everybody in Nashville loved him. Country Music Hall of Famer, steward of country music, but not like a Garth George, icon. You know what I mean? Kind of slid under the radar a little bit. Even though he won Entertainer of the Year, he won Male Vocalist 3 or 4 times.
And has some of the best songs that have ever came out in country music.
Ever, yeah.
One of the best writers and voices too.
Yep, guitar player.
Yeah, he does it all. That is one guy that I've not seen live yet to this day.
Oh man,
that I would love to.
He's from West Virginia, so I've seen he comes to Charleston a lot. So I've gotten the chance to see Brad a few times, and he's kind of like the hometown son when he comes to Charleston. So it's usually a pretty big deal when he's here.
That's fantastic.
It's funny you put Celebrity, though, because I feel like out of all these, kind of funny, tongue-in-cheek songs, the one people remember the most is Alcohol.
Yeah.
And Celebrity just kind of gets slid behind that one because, I mean, I think everybody remembers Alcohol.
Oh, yeah. And Online.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like that one's people remember that one pretty well, but
Yeah, I agree, man.
that was funny. But yeah, that was what I had. And then the next one you had actually was Smoke Rings in the Dark by Gary Allan.
Oh, man. I love this song. I absolutely love it. I think, to me,
Very
Gary
good.
Allan is one of the most underrated, probably of the last 20, 25 years. Like, he had like 15 to 20 hits, and like people don't even like think of him for some
Don't even
reason.
remember
Like,
him. Like him
yeah,
as an
I mean,
artist, people don't even remember him. He's
I
trying to
mean-
make a comeback though.
He is. Yeah, he's got a new album coming out.
Yeah,
and
I
think
don't know
next
when.
month.
Yeah, Grady was talking about it on his one of his recent YouTube videos, and I was like, "Holy
Yeah.
crap!" I was like, "He's coming out with a new album." I had no idea, but good for
Yeah.
him.
Absolutely, man. This song came out, and he was still wearing a cowboy hat when this came out. And I think like maybe right after this came out, he took the cowboy hat off and kind of was done with that look. But I remember I was probably like 16 or 17 at that time, and I was still buying CDs every week.
Yeah.
And I just, for whatever reason, I remember the cover of this album in the record store. Like, I vividly remember walking in and seeing the cover of this, and I'm sure I knew who Gary Allan was, but this is definitely the first album of his that I ever bought.
That's great, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, but next I had the next one. I picked Laredo by Chris Cagle.
Oh man,
I feel
Such a
like
good song.
no one really talks about Chris Cagle that much anymore.
no. Well, he kind of retired there for a little while. I think
Yeah.
he's back touring. I think.
I don't even know that, but I don't ever really hear people talk about him, mention him very much, especially this song. And this was a pretty good song for him actually.
Yeah, it was.
But you just really don't hear people talk about it. And I was like, I think that'd be a good one to make the list because it was one of my favorites by Chris.
Oh, it's a jam. You can blast it and sing to it like crazy. Such a good song.
Most definitely, man. And then next, you had from the iconic Randy Travis, "Look Heart, No Hands."
Oh man! So when I first sent you some of the ones that I was thinking of, I put a ton from like legends, and so I had to think a little bit more. But so I was gonna try to come up with all ones from people that weren't like legends. But for whatever reason, when I was a kid, I was probably 5 or 6 when Randy came out, so I cannot remember like the very early, huge, forever and ever, amen, Randy and that kind of stuff. I mean, I can remember it later on, but I don't remember when it first came out. But Look Heart No Hands came out. It was the single from his greatest hits, and I think I was 10 or 11, and this was the song that really hooked me on Randy and just that traditional voice and that traditional sound and. He's always been one of my favorites, probably ever since this song. And, he's got 5 or 6 of the best country songs of all time. And he's got a lot of songs that have kind of slid through the cracks and people don't remember. And people just need to remember and recognize how amazing Randy Travis was.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That was I'd forgotten about that one, man. When you sent me that, I was like, holy cow, I didn't even remember that. But so that was an awesome choice.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, speaking of Randy Travis, though, I just actually snagged not to get off topic, but a 90s, like, trucker hat with his old logo on it.
Did you really?
Yeah, off eBay, so we'll see.
Oh, man. I knew you'd been looking at some hats on there.
Yeah, I almost got this Brooks & Dunn hat from the 90s, man, but those go for a pretty high ticket.
That's wild, isn't it?
I'm like, golly. I'm like, I know it's vintage, but holy cow. What is that? Randy Travis, he just put out that song, last year or the year before that? They put out a song for him.
Oh, yeah, Fool's Love Affair.
Fool's Love Affair, yep, that's it.
Yeah.
And this, I think, did we talk about this before on the show? That was I don't want to get too far off topic here, but they found that from like an old work tape.
I think that's right. And they just announced this week that there's 3 more songs coming out from that era.
That's insane with the technology that we have today that they can master those and put them out.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it was recorded in 2021.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's
Absolutely.
fantastic.
It's crazy.
But anyway, next, speaking of our good friend Chris Young. No, I'm just kidding. We don't know Chris Young, but I had Voices next. That's what I picked.
Such a good one. What do you think of that one, man?
Oh, dude, that was one of the first songs that I just remember hearing by Chris that I really just has stuck with me over the years. And I just remember getting ready for school on CMT in the morning, and they'd play that. And I don't know, man, it's just one that's really stuck with me over the years. And Chris, he's kind of like a similar to Thomas Rhett, where he was really country in the beginning, and then kind of just went to that more, modern pop country sound.
Yeah.
And
we talked a lot about how much we love that early Chris stuff.
Yeah, and this is just that era of Chris Young that I was like obsessed with,
Oh man, those first three, I think probably the first three, or maybe four, but definitely the first three CDs are amazing.
Yeah, as country as it gets.
As country as it gets.
Golly, but
I think Voices was the one that they had released to radio, and it stalled at like number 50, and then they came back to it after Getting You Home was number 1. I think that's the last single at radio that was released and did not go anywhere, and then they re-released it later and went all the way to the top of the charts.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's been a long time ago now. He's been around a long time now.
When you think about it in that perspective, I mean, he has been around a long time. He won Nashville Star, right?
Did he?
Or was a contestant? I don't know if he actually won, but
I think he won, and I think Miranda was third.
Yeah, I was going to say they were both on it, and
Yeah.
I think Chris did win. Actually, I'm
I think
100% sure.
Yeah.
But I remember watching that show with my grandma, and who would have thought that after all that he would have the career that he's had this far,
Yeah, and he's going to have the number 1 song in country radio probably in 2 weeks, and he's got a brand new album coming out, and he's still going strong, man.
Still cranking them out, man.
Absolutely.
But,
what else we got there?
So next we had one of yours, Red Light by David Nail.
Oh, man. David Nail is him. I mean, Gary Allan is a little bit before David Nail, but David Nail, his second and third CDs are 2 of my favorite country records of all time, and I loved this song so much. We actually got a chance to see him at one of our kind of like not even a county fair. It was like the next level below a county fair. It was like a little city fair.
Yeah.
Probably 2 years ago, and it was just like you paid to get in, and it was like probably $8, $10, something like that. And he just absolutely killed it. And I got a signed vinyl from him, and
that's awesome.
I mean, this was a hit. This was probably his first hit, Red Light, and it's just kind of that melancholy kind of song that you and I both go back to. We love songs like this.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. I don't know if I ever even remembered this song, actually, but I listened to it when you sent me your list, and it was familiar, but I'm like, I don't know. What year did it come out? Do you remember?
Probably 06, 07, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was young back then, but I just don't remember.
Yeah.
But it's great. I've listened to it a couple times since you sent me over your choices for the episode, and I was like, holy cow. But the next one, I think I had this one. I think this was me. I had Everywhere by Tim McGraw.
Yeah, of all the songs on the list, this is my favorite song on the list. You picked it. This is a killer song, man. Tell us about Everywhere by Tim McGraw.
It's just traditional McGraw, man. He just, we've talked about this before, where he'll put a real good country song out, every so often now, and everything else he does is just kind of questionable because you're like, I forget what the song is, but it's like Silverados on the Moon or something. I forget what it's called, like Trucks in Space or something. And I was like, what is he doing? But this was when
Chevy Spaceship.
Yeah, Chevy Spaceship or whatever it's called. I'm like,
That's
what
hilarious.
The heck is he doing?
That's
but
hilarious.
But this was from an era that McGraw was just as country as it could be, and it's a great song. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. McGraw has been one of my long-term favorites as well. So I always listen to everything he puts out, but I don't know, man. Another one that I think just gets swept under the rug and forgotten about in today's modern sound of country music.
I agree. I mean, it's obviously not forgotten by me or you because we love Tim and we love this song, but I mean, you could easily name 20 to 25 Tim singles that are more popular than this song.
Yeah.
And there's probably only 2 or 3 that I like as much as this song. I mean,
for sure.
I freaking love this song.
I mean, your diehard country fans, like your 90s fans, your McGraw fans, they're going to know this. But I mean, just with how country music has evolved over the past 2 decades, 2 decades, I just feel like it's one that gets left behind, and it's one of my favorite songs of all time.
I agree, man. It's so good, so good.
But then you've got next. This was another one of mine. Every Light in the House Is On by Trace Adkins.
What made you pick that one?
I don't know really what made me pick it. I just remember my grandma used to always play it. She loved Trace. And we actually went up to see him in concert when we were kids. So I started thinking back, when I started thinking about this, I'm like, well, what did I listen to as a kid that I don't hear anymore? Or who did I listen to that I don't really hear about anymore? Because, you obviously grew up in the 90s, so listening to Alan Jackson, Brooks and Dunn, Garth Brooks, Joe Diffie, you still hear people jamming and talking about those guys all the time. But I don't feel like Trace Adkins is still brought up as much as the 90s 2000s era, and I don't know, man, it was one we listened to as a family a lot, and it just stuck with me.
So this song was kind of at the tail end of 90s country,
Mm-hmm.
and then he kind of hung around, and then he had a whole nother kind of career with Honky Tonk Badonk Donk and some of that like early 2000s stuff. But this song is like classic 90s country.
Yeah, and it's one of his top 5 most popular on Spotify.
Oh yeah,
Which it was an awesome song for him at the time, but I just feel like it's been left in the fossil of the 90s, But it's a good one, definitely a good one.
From looking at our list, we obviously picked a couple legends like Brad and Randy and Tim, but so many of these people were like, they just kind of were in that moment of country music, and then they just kind of like fade away,
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to huge country fans, but like there's these guys and gals that are just like, like they're kind of middle acts. They probably never were headliners. They weren't winning like huge awards and stuff, but man, they made some freaking awesome music.
Oh, dude, absolutely. You hear, like, if you went up to a kid in today's world, maybe a middle school, high school kid that, didn't grow up listening to this and asked them if they knew who Chris Cagle was, they probably wouldn't know, or they may know a few songs,
Yeah.
I guess depending on what their parents listen to, but you know what I mean? It's like David Nail, even Trace Adkins, they might not remember these 90s songs by Trace.
Yeah, Emerson Drive, nobody would remember that,
It's just crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Just a moment in time, man, but...
What we got last there?
Last, we're rounding off the list with one of yours, My Blue Angel by Aaron Tippin.
Oh, man. Aaron Tippin is another one of those early 90s guys that kind of probably got overshadowed a little bit.
For sure.
And he's got some awesome stuff, and we've seen him live recently, before the pandemic, and he was great. And for whatever reason, the video for My Blue Angel was he plays an undercover cop, and there's a part of the song where he kind of yodels in this song a little bit, and it's just always been super memorable to me. This has always been one of my favorite Aaron Tippin songs. It's
a good one, and it's funny that you picked that because in the one of the TikToks I made about this, I put "Kiss This" by Aaron Tippin.
There you go. He's got a lot of just
like catchy forgotten songs.
Catchy forgotten songs, man.
That, like you said, back in that moment in time, they were recognizable as could be. You're like, oh, that's A, B, and C by so and so. But now it's like, I haven't heard that in a long time. What is that?
Yeah.
To the average fan, of course, we know that obviously there's major country fans like ourselves and many more out there in the world that would recognize all these songs probably. But to your average fan, they probably forgot a lot of these.
That's right, man.
I don't know. You guys let us know. Comment on our posts and send us a message. Let us know if you guys forgot any of these or if you remembered them all.
That's right.
But
I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure we're going to dig deeper and find more. I'm sure we'll do another one just like this eventually.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of forgotten country music out there that we could do more episodes on, but we didn't want to do a super long list. So that way we could do a part 2 down the road. But that's really all we had for the list, man.
Looks good, man.
Pretty solid list here of. Maybe we should make a playlist of forgotten country music, and every time we do one of these episodes, just update it.
Absolutely. We definitely need a Bro Country podcast Spotify list.
We got one. I made one. Yeah.
There we go. We need to push that out there on Saturday.
I haven't really hyped it up too much. I put it on Instagram probably a few months ago, and it's we've got like 3 hours of songs on there. It's kind of long, but it's pretty good.
So you can make a new one that's just got these songs and the ones from the TikToks on there.
Yeah. I'll send it over to you. I haven't updated it in a while, so maybe I'll update the main playlist, and then do another one for the songs that you may have forgot about.
That's right, man.
Don't want to insinuate that you guys forgot about them if you didn't, but you may have forgot about them.
That's right.
But that's all I've got this week, man. You got anything else?
I think that's it, man.
Sweet. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We truly appreciate that. Go check us out. We're all over social media. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Just search at Bro Country Pod. Facebook, we've got a page and a group. Just search Bro Country Podcast. Give us a like. Come join the group. We definitely appreciate that. And as always, until next time, keep it country and take care of each other.